Well, hello. So I just wanted to show kind of how to go about attaching these threadolets. So, obviously in lesson 13, you're going to go and make this pipe run and have a bunch of things connected, but some may not be entirely clear on how to connect these guys. So, got a little view rep here, and just to give an idea of like reference for where it's going to be. So these little threadolets, they're kind of meant to mimic a T, except for you can fit them, wherever across a pipe, and it just works. Naturally they cut a hole and they do some welding, so they fill like this gap up and stuff. It's one of those things that's easier to actually see in person, but you're trying to match the curvature where it's round to be, touching the curved part. So if I look at the other view, there's not a curvature that you can see to match the cylinder. So it's pretty obvious which one, you need to do as far as how to constrain which direction, but I'm going to do a little offset to make it a little more apparent. And so, you've got this, and then we've got the round that runs lengthwise with the cylinder. And so if we were to go and copy this guy, delete the original so we don't have any constraints, it's not too bad to go and do the other constraints. I'm going to make this a little easier and just delete all the extra stuff since I've already done it, and I can just, cut it off after. So now I've got these two side by side, and I'm going to go through and turn on a few different planes. So we'll do this plane. I'm going to turn the visibility on. And for the threadolet, we'll do this one. And if you actually look on the right side view, in my case, this is the plane that would essentially be the tangent mark. And so we'll turn it on. And let's do this one as well. It's the same one as that corresponds with where the pipe is currently. Okay, so first thing, you can constrain it in any order, but there's going to be 4 constraints to fully locate it. I tend to do tangent first because if you don't do it, in the same order as I do, odds are your part may flail off the screen a little bit. So it's just easier to do something that, immediately establishes that these guys touch. And so what I've done here is a tangent. I've chose that plane that we turned on and the cylinder, and then I changed the solution because if you noticed, what happened was it actually chose to do tangent the opposite way. So I'm just flipping that, and we've got that. And then I'm going to zoom back in here, and I'll choose the plane that we have for the threadolet that runs through the middle of that curvature. So you can kind of see it there. We want this one to correspond with the pipe, so I'm going to choose the pipe axis center. Okay, and so now I'm going to grab it. It moves freely, and I'm going to just ground this pipe just for the sake of showing. But, so now it moves freely across it, and it kind of spins while we're at it. But it stays connected. So pretty lovely. From here, we can go ahead and actually need one more plane. We can go ahead and turn on our other plane. And so essentially, what I'm going to do is an offset dimension. So like from the end of this pipe, it's 12 inches over. And essentially that'll locate it, so it'll just spin freely after. And so I'm going to type in, I'm going to do flush, I think. It's kind of silly, but the way I decide which one is like if I do mate, it'll be over here and I have to type in minus. So I like to do flush so it's a positive number. Doesn't matter too much really. And then the final thing we need to do is make it not spin. So we just do a simple angle constraint from plane to plane. And I like to do the ones that, run across the length of the pipe together. So like you can kind of see, I've chose the same two that correspond, and then I make sure to choose directed. And then in my case, I need to flip it up. So I'll type in 180, just like with, if you were looking at a Cartesian plane, if you started at 0, you got this. If you put it in 90, it's the other quadrant. 180, it flips it. 270, it goes 90 the other way. And then 360 is technically the same as 0. So, so I'm going to change that to 180. And then bam, that guy's good to go. This was just a quick little video. So if anybody is having problems with getting a Threadlet set up, just let me know.